everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris Homie. Welcome back, and today we are gonna look at the latest in the series of Franchise Hockey Manager FHM4. Brand new, released today, I believe. I just got my hands on a copy from OOTP Development, so shout out to them. And I've been playing their games for a while now, 2006, 2007 I think, on Out to the Park Baseball. I've been playing FHM since it started, and I know they've been working on Beyond the Sidelines Football. When that comes out, you better believe I'm all in on that. Very excited to see how they handle an NFL simulation. But my first love of the American sports has traditionally been hockey for many years. Great times playing it sort of on computers, great times watching it. So it's over 20 years now since I became a fan of hockey in general, and the Avalanche in particular in their first season through strange circumstances, but ended up watching them that first season. They won everything. It was easy to fall in love with that team, and as I've learned more about the game, I've fallen in love with the game of hockey as well. So I'm going to just recap a little bit about the series and my take on it so far. FHM, the original Franchise Hockey Manager, I think as a first effort was a really good first step into this, into the genre really. Now I know they had a lot of history with Out to the Park Baseball, a lot of knowledge, an engine to work off, and so on. But it was a decent little game. It wasn't quite the game I think that people were expecting, because expectations were high when Out to the Park was knocking it out of the park. So I think a little bit underwhelming at times, but the gameplay and the enjoyment factor I had was second to none against any other hockey game out there. I mean, of all time, pretty much. FHM 2, I think, was what people were expecting FHM 1 to be. Maybe a little bit more than they were expecting FHM 1 to be. But the more realistic of us really enjoyed that game for what it was, and a really solid second step on the path. And then FHM 3 came out, and they start adding a few more things, and you get the official NHL license, and things are starting to come together. And I think FHM 3 set the bar really high. So I haven't taken a look at this at all. This is my first time sitting down in front of it. I almost started up a game off camera, but I immediately exited out of the game before it had even finished loading. Loaded this back up. I wanted it to be a fresh, honest review. My expectations are high. They've set the bar high. Let's see exactly what we're gonna get here. Now we know that they got the updated rosters. You can see that they've got all the real team logos, and they'll have the kits and that kind of thing. The NHL logos up there on the puck. It is what it is. It's an officially licensed partner. And with that brings some pressure and expectations, I believe, of its own as well. But you can see here you've got quite a lot of different things. You've got the Steamworks, which would be quite nice to see everything when that's up and running. I don't believe it will be now. The rankings, achievements, quick starts and load games. Decent little setup. Historical games, something I really enjoy in Out to the Park Baseball, because I'm a big fan of the 1961 Yankees and the whole story. Mantle, Maris going after the record of Babe Ruth for the home runs in the house that Ruth built. You can do that in Out to the Park Baseball. With FHM now, you've got even more chances to go back in history than ever before. I believe now it's 1917, 18, I believe, is the first season you can do in a historical game. Go right back to the beginning of hockey itself. You know, it's a very historic game. It's a sport that has a great depth of history and fascinating characters from its beginning. The idea, the inception of the game on the Great Lakes in Canada when they were frozen over in the winter, and so on and so forth until the modern day. But you can go back and play with Gretzky or try and draft him to your favourite team and so on and so forth. That's going to be great. Custom game, there should be some new stuff in there, which is really nice. Challenges, I believe you can track your scores and achievements against everybody else. So that's really nice. I believe this is the first instance of Commissioner mode, if I am correct. It didn't have it in FHM3, but Commissioner mode is really... You can take it two ways. It's one way of updating a game on the fly, making little corrections here and there, putting yourselves in weird scenarios. You can do what you want when the game's going on. It's also a little bit of a cheat mode. Some people have used it like that before. I've used that in Out of the Park Baseball to try and get a realistic draft when I'm playing historical games. I'll make sure I get a better draft pick so I can actually draft the people that went to those teams. So you can take it for what you want, but it is a really useful tool for a lot of different people playing the game a lot of different ways. So I'm happy that it's transitioned into FHM4. As well as that, I mean, the customization options I believe are really big. But one of the things you could do before in previous version, you could create the Las Vegas team. Now, as you can see by this logo, they're already in this team. But I believe if you start a game, you can have a different option or two to play with this brand new expansion team. Either take the team as it's been built in real life, or go back to the start of that expansion draft and see if you want to build a better or different version of the team. So I think that's really interesting, and yeah, I think decent settings. You can do whatever you want. There's options for skins later on. Rolling skills, rolling saves, my bad. Face gen, shader mode, why not? Zoom out, use caps, no. Okay. Yeah, it seems really straightforward and simple. I think we're going to go in here though for a standard game. So this is going to be the quick review. I might play it a bit over the next week or so and then come out with a more updated review. But the database seems to be only the opening night here on the standard game. So we'll see exactly how long it takes to load. And yeah, I don't think it'll take too long. But like I say, there are new features in this game, new bits and pieces that you can be getting on with. And I'm really excited to see how this pans out, really, because as I say, one was good. It gave us a game in the genre when there weren't any other games around, and it was a nice first step. The second step with FHM2, big improvement, solid game. FHM3, really fun to play, a nice impressive third iteration. Now FHM4, I want to see that next step. I want to see the production up a little bit, those production values just a little higher. I want to see the expansion of the game a little bit more, and we're starting to see that with the new customization options and the historical mode, going back even further, the new expansion, being able to either play as it as is or change it up. So I quite like that. So for this review, I think we're just going to put everything in, and we'll see how long that takes to load up. If it takes too long, I will cut out the video, but I don't believe that there was too much setup time in the past game. So let's see here, challenge mode. If I enable the challenge mode, I experience a whole new way. So you collect achievements and awards, extra challenges. So You won't be able to play with commissioner mode, and I do want to take a look at that, so we won't be doing challenge mode for this video. Yeah, certain league rules and adjustments are disabled. AI team control settings only available to autoplay during the off season. Okay, that would be a challenge for me. I do like to skip months at a time, maybe as much as a quarter to a half of the season at a time, to especially when I'm rebuilding teams or when I'm playing down in junior hockey like I did last season. So that might be a bit of a problem for me in my games. But if you log in, you get your season scores and achievements tracked, and you can compare as well. Right now I'm not up to the challenge, so Chris Orme is something I really like. The ability to put in so many options here. There's so much here that you can do. I'm going to keep it realistic, of course, but and the last time I was able to find, yeah, see, straight away my actual place I was born, all those many years ago. So team play, let's see. So general manager, head coach, you do everything. GM, which is where I usually play. Roster moves, trades, free agent signings, extensions, drafts, and making sure you've got enough players. But you don't set the lines or coach during games, which isn't something I'm particularly a fan of doing myself. I know some people like the players only the coach. Some people, like myself, prefer just being a GM. Others prefer being totally hands-on. For the sake of this, just seeing how it's all going to work, we're going to put it on both. And then I think I'm going to have to start by looking at the Avalanche. We've got a really bad team. Cannot be fired, even though I'm not going to go too far into this. Here we go. Start with low reputation experience, improve over the years, meeting the goals. I like that aspect of it. I really do. Hover over the rating and see description, what they represent and affect. So yeah, kind of like this bit. So offensive, I like being physically offensive. I like that balance there. GM templates. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So you can fundamental first motivational speaker, I guess that is. That's got cut off halfway through. Old time hockey. Bobby O, Gory Howe. Let's go. Yeah, it's not me though. It's not me. I'd be fundamental first, good with kids, motivational speaker. I'd be kind of around there. You do the basic right, you win games. You build with youth, you win for a long time. And to do both those and to keep a team really well sort of knitted together and get your lines gelling with chemistry, you need to be a good motivational speaker. So I believe those three would be a nice mix. I don't believe I'm going to use these templates because, yeah, main order and discipline, self-preservation. I mean, it's turned off. It's a little bit cheaty to do that, but it does mean then you can get some nice stuff up here. Player management, what exactly goes in? Happy and cooperating. Okay, player morale basically then. Maintain order and discipline, and then negotiating to do trades. I'd probably do that. I'm a big fan of trading in these games. I like to shake things up. Even a successful team, you can trade away one or two parts and rebuild it better. So coaching, goalies. So training and practice. So that's going to be more of the same. Then you got your tactics, which I believe might be just general tactics. Then you got your in-game tactics and how you can change things up, and then player motivations. So you know me. We're gonna go high there, and then something like that, maybe. Why not? Just keep it all balanced there, and then see how long it takes to load. So far, very reminiscent of FHM 3 in the way it sort of sets you up, your options as a manager. I don't remember if we had these options in there. I don't think we did, but then again, I only played 2 games on FHM 3 because they lasted quite a long time. I had one for YouTube and one offline, and they both lasted a long time for me, so I didn't actually have to do setting up the manager much. But like I say, it does seem to be very similar in how things are sort of laid out and the options you've got there, but I think it looks a little bit nicer, and I think it's a little bit better sort of spaced out. I remember a couple of things were wrong sort of in the text and things, which seem to be cleared up for this version, so really happy to see that. Like I say, that's one of the things I am looking for, is to get, you know, the feel of the game was there, the substance of the game was there. The last bit then, which is important in today's market for a lot of people, not so much for me, but I know it is a big thing for some people, is the look. So if it looks and sounds right, then this will be the big step forward that they have, that they need to take, really. So I'll be back when this is loaded. Shouldn't take too long at all. And there we go, a little over 5 minutes later, 6 minutes I believe was pretty close to being. We are into the game proper. Now that's a decent amount of time, but that doesn't scare me too much, because, you know, let's just remember we got the international stuff, and we also loaded up pretty much every league around the world in this game. So there's a lot to go into it, but I like it so far. I like it so far. Looks pretty decent. We got the entry draft page. Always like looking at the entry draft. See there, Rasmus Dahlin. No. Game, please. See, it's just popping up with their pictures. Little pop-ups sometimes. If you're not careful where you aim, they will pop up a little bit. But yeah, a little bit too zoomed out. I think I'd like that zoomed in a bit more. Maybe I'll have to do that in the settings. But everybody's number one sort of pick in the draft, Rasmus Dahlin. You can see very good defender, as can't miss as you kind of get. We have got the edit up here. Is that actually going to bring up? It is actually going to bring up the edit screen. I'm not going to look at his attributes or anything like that, or if I can, but or maybe I haven't actually got commissioner mode on at the moment, so we can't. I'd like to keep him a little bit more of a surprise. Looking at the roster here then, Avalanche got Varlamov in there. Of course, lost Picard in the draft when the Vegas Golden Knights came in. Very low on talent as a team. Matt Duchene wants to leave, so that would be a very nice rebuilding sort of thing that I will be looking at. But yeah, okay, interesting. Let's take a look at Duchesne then. So again, everything I think is laid out pretty much like the previous iteration was. Set beard. See, you can do so much. You can do so much. That's what I really like about it. His ratings, you can see, really good at getting open. Great face-off taker. Quite physical. Good first-line centre. Or for a really stacked defensive team, a great second-line centre. Clean, elite, strong hockey senses. That's really good. And his potential might be high enough for him to surpass Alexander Kerfoot's current skill level. Really? Okay, that seems strange. That bit there seems strange. Okay, let's go. See where they were drafted. I think most of this is pretty much the same. One thing I did look at while I was waiting for the game to load, there are no line chemistries, which would be really nice. Hall of Fame system, it's brand new. Player uniform numbers, brand new. Postseason awards, I'm looking forward to. What else is there here? With the postseason awards, dramatically expanded statistical tracking. So does that mean that they track them in different ways, or they represent in different ways? Or they're just more stats to track? I don't know. Single game records, because they had the season records and whatnot. Now there are single game records for goal per game, points per game, penalty minutes per game, I expect. So that'll be really nice. Club alumni lists, I haven't seen that yet. I'm not sure exactly where that'll be in here. We'll try and find that to see some of the retired jerseys and whatnot from each club and around the league. In-game audio and visual enhancements, which is what I'm on about, those production values, and much more. So yeah, it looks like there's a few new bits, but really when you look at it, so much is FHM3, but it just seems a little bit more cleaned up, and I really like that. I really like that. So that's the roster and player view. You can see now here, again, just a little bit more production value. We got these different tactics, offensive and defensive tactics, and you can see there the familiarity depends how often you use it and whatnot, to see if you can get the best use out of it, really. The Gong Show, when all else fails, goon it up, as was once said to the Hanson brothers. Lead us to the promised land. That's what we like. That's what we like. A bit of slap shots. Good movie. Another thing which makes me fall in love with hockey. So, as you can see, most of this is fairly similar as before, but I think we got a few new things in here as well. That's really nice. I really like that. That's nice. Okay. Tactics and the dress list. That's pretty cool. Then we got our power play, penalty kill, short even lines, and the goalie start. So start the hottest goalie. Okay, start the best rated goalie. Foreplay is a very high degree importance, and 0 be ignored. Okay, so if you want to start the hot goalie, you just pump that up. Excellent. I like that a lot. Oh, I like that a lot. That's good. Always start a goalie again after a shutout. Alternate them back-to-back games. Start the best goalie. I wonder how that's calculated. Does it say? No, it does not, sadly. Okay. You can lock them. Use goalie starts. See, that is really interesting to me. That's really interesting. The depth screen, I believe, is pretty much exactly the same. Kale McCarr, Very, very good prospect there. Still got Spencer Martin. Not really a top prospect, but might be able to do something there. So yeah, I think it's very, very reminiscent of FHM3 in a lot of ways. You can look at your schedule here, and then the history. So see here the records, championships 2, and everything else is pretty much the same there. Player index, okay. Not sure if that was there before, but that's really cool. You can see all the history pretty much that you have in the club. That's pretty fun. Here's the alumni list then. So this is the players that were at the club that have left, that are still in the game. So I mean, I could look at Mitchell and think, you know, if I need someone on that 4th line for a game or two, would he be an option or not? Quite a lot of these, of course, are older players now. So would they be able to do a job or not? Probably not in the big case. But active alumni and the drafted alumni. So interesting. I don't think that's really an NHL thing, the drafted one, but that's pretty cool. Jersey numbers. Okay, game records, here we go. Most goals, assists, points, power play, shorthanded. Defenders, okay. Penalty minutes, save shots. Most missed shots. Okay, nice. You can see who's out there throwing the puck at net but not getting anywhere near the net. Takeaways, giveaways. Interesting. So, yeah. Okay, there's information here we can use to rebuild our team. I like that aspect. Then you got the rookie records and the postseason, I guess. PO for the postseason. So that's kind of that. This looks pretty much the same as well. Yeah, that's pretty much the same. Okay. Interesting. So league info. You can see here all the awards are up on that side. Typical salary. So it's a good thing to keep in mind. I never really do, but trying to see if anything here seems a little bit more sort of a little bit different, a little bit more than we've seen before. I don't think most of it is. Why is he? Yeah, players 3 on. Why is he in this list? I don't know. Okay. But we could sign Jaromir Jagr. Could bring in Athanasio Anderson. They could be decent players on a team like the Avalanche. Tutin and Schultz, of course, that could be decent on the bench. If they don't make the lineup, they'll probably make the lineup though. Upcoming free agents, always my favorite screen to pay attention to, because here we can make the trades, or we can decide, you know, to wait and see who might make it from this list onto free agency at the end of the year. Someone like Saros could be pretty decent though, to be fair. That could be really decent. Like that. Trading block, Palmieri, Johansson, Hayes, I mean, they could all be pretty good as well. Smith's the best goaltender on there then, Campbell. So interesting, but I think all that is pretty much again the same sort of stuff. Track your milestones there, the stats, the events, and you can see there's oh so much going on. The rules, nice little breakdown of everything that you need to pay attention to. And yeah, don't think there's been any changes in Hockey Swan. That should be the same as FHM 3. Then you got the NHL's history with all their stuff, including the All-Star games. So all the All-Star games that occur in your game are there. Sadly, we don't have the history of the past All-Star games. I would like to see that in the future if we could. But in a game, as a rookie, most goals for Howie Mika, most assists, Wayne Gretzky, most points, Peter Stastny. And Stastny was a great player. And game records, taking a little while. Okay, that's the first real sort of hit that we have seen. You can see here, these are what we see in the start of the game. So, should be the same across all games. And then, of course, these will get filled in as your game progresses. See if you can get more assists in a game from a player than Wayne Gretzky. Can you get more than 7 goals in a game? Is anybody else going to post 10 points? More shots, Ray Bourque. So, really like that sort of aspect of it, to be fair. I like that, being able to track your progress and compare against history and the current game. Money for free agents and extensions all tied in. Projected budget room. Yeah, quite like that. Don't think there's anything really different on there. Stan Kroenke, Bennett, this all seems to be pretty much the same. The reputation seemed differently a little bit different. I quite like that. Known, unknown, totally unknown. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think most of the rest are just going to be pretty much the same there. Salary obligations, of course, allows you to break down where money might get freed up for you in the future. And knowing if you've got to trade someone away, so maybe we don't like the Landeskog contract, we can get rid of him. We free up 5.5 over the next 4 years. That's pretty useful. Eric Johnson, we want to go a different way. There's 5 years at 6 million there. Tyson Barrie, probably want to keep. Varlamov, though, I think if I traded away Varlamov, brought in that young 22-year-old goalkeeper, I could be doing something. That could be the first in a bold rebuild for the Avalanche. And you can see here the difference between the actual salary and the cap hit. So, nice that they do have those there. You got your scouting, I believe, is pretty much the same. Transactions, trade offers. Yep. Ha. And yeah, I believe this is all gonna be pretty much the same as well. Although I'm not sure why. Okay, so they just added in a few more players than I thought they would there. Okay. No need to panic. So yeah, you can see here you kind of your players, just like in FHM 3, should be quite easy to do some kind of deal. Just adding a player and then seeing what they've got on the other hand. And of course, Bishop for Bernier, that's fair. That's fair. Come on. That's never gonna go through. But okay. So they keep things pretty much as they were in the previous games. If it's not broke, don't try and fix it. But yeah, it looks nice. It feels nice. So far, so good. Let's see. So we go and sim to the preseason start then and just see what we can do. So it's only a few days, shouldn't take too long. But yeah, so far I think this is a game I could totally get into, and I'm already starting to get into, because you know, this is just me to have a quick look at the game and how things look and how it feels and what the changes are. But I'm already in my mind thinking of trading Varlamov and trying to get in, you know, another goalie and trying to change things up, and how I might want to rebuild the Avalanche and how to totally redraft the Vegas Knights. And that's what usually, to me, makes me think it's a really, really good game. Yeah, look at that. Near me going over there to Toronto, and Pittsburgh pick up a 4th round pick. That's pretty good. But if it feels the same, then, you know, I'm not going to complain, because I liked FHM 3. If they've tightened some things up, and, you know, we've got some fun things now. You know, we got some fun things in the game. If it looks better but plays the same, I'm happy. And the little features sprinkled on top, I'll be happy with that as well. International course is still here, so you can do all of that kind of things. So let's have a look at the manager options then, and into the commissioner mode. So with commissioner mode, you should be able to change almost anything. So if we go and edit the league, I can rename it what I like. I can change things up. If you want more trades, you can do that. You can see the rough goals a game and penalties a game are all set in here. You can do all these sort of things. You can create a new player. Yeah, that might be interesting, actually. If you want to just start fresh, no injuries, everybody happy, you can do that. Or you can start with how they're simulated as being in real life. You can only edit the league rules on July 1st, but you can change up all these kind of stuff, which is nice. It won't even let you get into the league rules, which is a little shame. And into the team, you can change your colors, nicknames, all this sort of thing. And the entry draft, who's got your draft picks? The Nashville Predators have got our 2019 4th round pick. We just get it back. I mean, that's something which is always interesting to do, and you can do other teams as well. You can see there a little bit about the team, and of course then you can also edit players. And for this, we're going to go in and take a look at Matt Duchene, because interested to see exactly where they place him. There's a lot of debate right now with the trades sort of being speculated, and what Sakic wants people to give up, like a good defenseman or a defensive prospect plus picks for Duchene. And a lot of people around the league don't think Matt Duchene is an elite player. Now in the scouting here, it says elite player. So let's go have a look then and see what the game devs think about Matt Duchene, and then exactly what we can do. So template, I don't believe was here before. So nice. He's a non-physical offensive center. Interesting. Lots of different options there. I really like that. That provides great depth, and hopefully, as long as they're generated the right way in the future for future drafts, hopefully will mean that a very realistic and varied game will unfold forward in the future. Most of this looks fairly similar, though. It does look fairly similar. So we've got everything there. Ambition low, ambition 9, loyalty 11. I mean, he's not that loyal. Is 11 right? I don't know. Ambition is definitely above a 9. He wants to leave for a better team. That's pretty much what it is. But from what I've seen, you can see you're mentally not the strongest player. Physically pretty good. Defensively, wow, thank you for that. But defensively, not bad. Offensively, pretty good. And yeah, that's what I would say about Matt Duchene. He's a strong offensive player. Strong physicality to back that up, although he doesn't really use that a lot in his gameplay. It's more to stop others from being physical to him. And yeah, he's not a liability on defense, but you shouldn't look for him to lead. And he's not really that captain material, I don't feel. And that maybe is here you can see a little bit reflective. No, not the bravest player, not the best leader. So I've got to say I fairly agree with that. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Let's get into a game. Okay, what have I got to do? I've got to dress players. Action menu. Yeah, set up organization and dress players. Not going to get into it too much there. Looks like Bigrat, Siemens, Zadorov, Barberio, Barry, Johnson, Greylandeskog, Wilson, Duchene, Jost, McKinnon and Söderberg, and then Como, Grimaldi, Nieto, Rantanen and Yakupov. Pretty decent, not too bad actually. That isn't too bad. As you can see as well, your lineup here. Then we can change to the Winnipeg Jets and see what they have got set up. Kind of see the tactics on there. And yeah, I'm pretty I'm pretty happy with that. You can clear lines, change lines. All looks fairly similar as before. Okay, a little bit more of a breakdown I think here tactically then in the pre-game notes. Stay in your lanes. For them you can see we got a torpedo attack, etc, etc. Nice little breakdown of the teams. Maybe separate it up a bit more. I'd like a bit more of a gap and so on. Make it easier to read. Instead of just a big block of text might be nicer there. But overall, I think that's pretty much, you know, pretty much the same as we've seen. Pretty good. So we're going to play this game. Not too much change here. It looks a little bit better presented though. So we can go back there to the strategy. We can look at the stats. We can get into the box score and decide to pick where we need to make our changes. Average highlights, few highlights, clock speed very fast, and play by play very fast as well. Break for goals. Yep, pretty happy with that. So let's see then, sim to the end of the first period. That's load. Okay. Okay, that's better. I've had to lower the sound quite a bit. I like things quite quiet on the computer anyway. But it's not a bad sound listening to the crowd and everything. Not bad. Just a little bit scary. The puck went in the crowd. Let's see. Nothing. Nothing. And there's a goal. Mikko Rantanen to Tyson Barrie. No celebration or horn or noise in the crowd for that, which is a bit of a shame. See here the game fatigue and the shift fatigue. So I mean, do we just... I don't know. I'm not sure what I can do there. I think that's more coaching. Chris Bigras there from AJ Greer getting us on again. Good 2-0 lead at the end of the second period. Nail Yakupov from Eric Johnson. 3 goals to the good. And we should be able to see this one out against the Jets here at home in the first preseason game. That time I got a horn and we got the pop-up down there. I don't know why that didn't happen before. The background noise for the game is gone as well. That's what I was expecting. So, not sure why it didn't happen on the first 3 goals, but it's in there. Maybe that's something they can look at, why it doesn't always happen, and we can figure it up from there. But giveaway by Lowry, you can see Tyson Jost picked that up. Then he shoots at Steve Mason, who pushes it out, and Nieto comes in from the wing and wraps that puck in the net. Good job, Matt, good job. Oh no, there's booing, yeah, a little bit cartoony booing. I like it. Tobias Enstrom there from Jack Roslovich and Nikolaj Ehlers. So, okay, defenseman getting involved. The defenseman getting involved. Not sure why is Roslovich getting... I guess these are just for the shots and stuff. So there must have been a pass in between this shot. You know, there's a pass from Roslovich to Enstrom, who puts the puck in the net. But it didn't show up there. So no clean sheet on the night, but a good 4-1 win there. You can see. And then when we come out of the game, you can see here 3 stars. Probably best put them... I like the graphics there, like a gold star, 2 silver stars, and then 3 bronze stars maybe. Something a little bit more pop, and again, this needs to be cleaned up a little bit for me. It's really nice having it there though, so I really cannot complain. Big Grass though played well for us. Enstrom played really, really well. But you can see there, ice time leaders, you can see how the game was broken down, who played well, who played badly, and how it all went together. So, not a bad post-game screen there. So we've got the stars here, but having them on that other one might have been pretty good. Same stats as we have had previously, which is always a nice breakdown of how your team plays. You can see that Bufflin had 3 shots, but didn't really do much. So nice to keep him quiet, or quiet-ish. Maybe not the most quiet. So that's playing through the game, and then the last thing we're going to look at here will be to see how the game sims. So first initial impressions, very much like FHM3, cleaned up, some new features here and there, and you prefer number 64? Yeah, okay, so we can give him another number, but he absolutely insists he gets his number and we become very upset if he doesn't. Interesting, I like that. Happy to receive his phone. Rocco wants 22. Let's give him 94 and see what he says. He seems fine. Okay, interesting. That's interesting. That is interesting. Okay, yeah, I know stories have been a part of the baseball game for a while. Some people think it's unrealistic, which it kind of is, but it is fun. So I like to have them on, so people getting upset for silly reasons, getting injured in weird ways, just a bit of personality to the game, which can be dry at times if you're just simulating 10, 20, 30 years, as I do like to do in some of my saves. So that's pretty good there. We're going to continue on then. Blackhawks sim the game, and that was pretty quick. Okay, that was pretty quick. You can see there there's a 3-2 win for them. Winning goal coming from Brent Seabrook. Duncan Keith playing an absolute blinder. McKinnon not playing that well, but playing the best of our team. Varlamov had a good game in net, but yeah, not really the best. Got the goal, gave up penalties. They got an equaliser, gave up penalties. Then they got 2 goals for our 1 in the third, and it's the same in penalties. So the team that was more aggressive seemed to win that game, and it's easy to tell kind of as things match up that sort of obviously you don't have to go looking for it. But yeah, okay, we'll take that. But yeah, decent game. Some new features I really like the alumni list. You're able to track players that you might have forgotten about. Maybe you want to bring someone back to your favourite club who's been traded away a few years back. Riley for me might be one of those options. Peter Stastny. So you can kind of look at that through there. The single game records give you something. If you've got a really exciting young player coming through, really exciting to see, can they break your club record for a single game and for the season as a rookie, as a regular member, then go after the all-time career numbers. It's just an easier way to track those kind of things. Nice to see that you've got these little postmarks on the way to that big tally. Line chemistry I think is going to be a big thing, finding players that work well together. So that's another aspect to the tactical battle. You're going to be able to pick your global tactics. Then you're going to pick your tactics here. Then you're going to pick your players, and you're going to get those players in certain roles that suit them, but also that might have to work together better. And then maybe player personality or some of the stats will come into it for the actual line chemistry itself as well. So, hey, there's a lot to think about here tactically. Now, in some games I'm really big into that. In these games sometimes not so much. So if that's not your bag, don't worry. Play as a general manager. You'll do all the other stuff that you want to do, but leave the tactics and the game management to the AI manager. But if it is your bag, there's a lot to deal with this season and a lot to jump into. Just like FHM3 expanded things a little, you've got a little bit more to play with and a little bit more customization option for you to go and do things and play hockey the way you want to see it played. So I really like that. Even though it's not for me, I like that that's there. And yeah, what can I say, guys? It's FHM. It's a good game. It's what we've been expecting, and I'm excited to see how I can rebuild the Avalanche, how I can sort of start the Vegas franchise off on the right path. My own Vegas franchise, not the one that was drafted, in real life, but a roster that I draft with those same players available. And then, of course, maybe I add in another team to even up the numbers. Maybe I start a game with that. Maybe I go historical, go back, play the 2001 Avalanche and the 96 Avalanche. Just so many memories there for me to deal with. Go back and, try and get Gretzky in the draft and try and see his career and follow that through. Or maybe do what I did last year and go through the sort of Canadian Hockey League, the junior leagues. Maybe go to the OHL. head back to the WHL. I don't know. There's a lot to do and I've got a lot of ideas. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this game. And if you're into hockey or sports management games, or preferably both, then yeah, there's going to be a lot for you as well. So I'm going to say highly recommended. Go grab the game. It's out. It's being released, Friday the 6th of October, which is when I'm filming this video at night. Yeah, if you played FHM 3 and you wanted just a little bit more, then this is the game for you. If you've been wanting a hockey game, this is the game for you. I believe they had a feature on NHL's network about a regular season simulation by the development team, and they sort of predicted what could happen given their game engine and their player database, what could happen for the season ahead. I hope you're going to enjoy this game and hockey as a whole. But if you're even on the fence a little bit, give it a go. I believe it's $39.99 in Steam at the moment. You can go and pick it up there. You can head over to the Twitch channel, which is OOTP Developments. So head over there. You'll get a good chance to talk with the people who made the game, put it out there. You'll get a chance to look at their other games as well, like Out of the Park Baseball and Beyond the Sidelines Football, which I know isn't going to be called Beyond the Sidelines Football anymore. I know that's new development, new game coming next year, but until we get a new name, that's what I'm going to keep calling it, unfortunately. But yeah, you can go hang out with them there on Twitter as well. Always happy to answer questions, and you'll get a good chance to look at the game, and they'll be able to show you features and sort of a knowledgeable look at how things work. So head over to their Twitch, follow them on Twitter. There will be a giveaway of this game. I've got a couple of copies to give away, so follow me on Twitter at ChrisArmy, and the instructions will be up there soon. It'll run over this weekend, and some lucky people will grab this game from me for free if you just follow the Twitter and enter the competition that will be coming up on Saturday morning. So there's your chance, guys. Until then, though, I've been ChrisArmy. Until next time, y'all take care. Hit me up on Twitter. Watch for that competition. I'll see you back next time when I'll be playing a little bit more FHM4. See you guys.